Hi guys, this is Jookman here once again. I just want to go back a couple of steps and fill in the information that I've told you about being awarded a estate. There's a couple of things in my story that I haven't finished explaining. So I want to explain a little bit better about this awarded estate card that you can get. Now, I got my folder given to me from a place in Richmond, Victoria called the Open Place. Now this place, you can look this place up. It's down in Richmond, Victoria somewhere. It's called Open Place. Now I can't tell you too much about this place, but it's a government-run organisation and they help people like myself that have been awarded a estate. They help people like me and thousands of other people find their natural parents. And sometimes you're lucky enough, like I was, to get a folder that's been documented from page 1 right through. They handed me folder, and when I got my folder home, I read through it, and it told me about a lot of information about my natural mother that gave birth to me, which is this folder here, and it's from the Department of Human Services, and that says my ward card. So that there is all the information that I got handed to me from Open Place in Richmond, Victoria. So if you're in the process of trying to find your natural family because you were adopted, look that place up, and if they can't help you, they'll put you on to someone that can help you. So that's that part. Now, I just want to go in and fill in the gaps on my natural mother. She was roughly about 16, 17 when she gave birth to me. She gave birth to me in a town called Paddington, New South Wales. It's a small country town in New South Wales. If you look it up, you'll see where Paddington is. It doesn't look like it did back then because we're talking about the late 60s, early 70s when she gave birth to me. So she was about roughly 16, 17 when she gave birth to me. She decided to come to a town called Shepparton for whatever reasons it was. Maybe it was to look for work. Maybe it was looking for somewhere to live. And in the meantime, I was 2-month-old baby. So she had a drinking problem. She used to get drunk all the time and leave me in different places. There's a couple of places she left me. She'd get drunk in the Shepparton pubs and leave me in a box underneath the pub. And this is all documented in my folder, what she got caught doing. And don't forget, guys, I was a 2-month-old baby, and it's just not what you do for children you love. Anyway, so she got caught on many occasions in the pub with me, and unfortunately I wasn't well looked after. I'm not going to go into the abuse I suffered because you don't do this to a newborn baby. But she had her reasons, and whatever reasons they were, they were. Alright, so that's that part of it, and the next part of it is she passed away age 37 of breast cancer. She's buried in Shepparton. So she'd automatically, probably, you could say, found out that she'd had cancer and didn't want me. Who knows what her story was. She's not here today to tell her story. I don't judge her for what she did with me because she's not here today where we can sit down as adults and have a discussion on what her excuses were that she gave me up. So I don't judge her on that. So that's that part of the story. So when she was ultimative what she wanted to do with me as a newborn baby, she handed me over to the Shepparton Welfare, and the Shepparton Welfare handed me over to the Shepparton Police, and the Shepparton Police handed me over to the orphanage in the city in Melbourne. And by this stage I was only 2-month-old baby. So I stayed in the orphanage age 2-month-old baby right up until I was 2. And then they had me right up until I was 2. And then they paid a family from Thomastown to foster me and adopt me. And how I know all this, because it's all been documented. And lo and behold, an adopted uncle of mine told me over the phone what was the go with me. Back in the 70s, the government would pay families to adopt unwanted children. And I was unfortunately one of them childs. They adopted me not because they wanted me and loved me and was going to treat me how I needed to be treated. They adopted me because they were getting paid for it. And in the meantime, in this house, it was called the House of Horrors. I'm not going to go into the story on what I experienced in that house, because it's all bad. And if you need to know the story, you can ask me face to face and I'll tell you what went on in that foster family. But I'm telling you now, it wasn't a good environment. The children should have been around. So that fills in that part of it. The next part is when I decide, age 13, to run away from the House of Horrors. I got put back in that house right up until I was 16, legally old enough to get a job and get a roof over my head and leave the house again. Back in those days, in the 70s, you had to be older than 16, you had to have a roof over your head, and you had to have a job if you were going to leave those foster families. So that's what I did. I got a job and a roof over my head, which wasn't much, and I left that House of Horrors. I didn't hold on to this job very long because I had mental issues that hadn't been dealt with, and I also decided to live on the streets for many years. So that fills in that part of all the story, and then that's the story goes on from there. So I hope that it fills in the gaps for these people, and telling my story, I hope it helps someone else along in their journey on finding out the information about why they were fostered out and adopted. And my message is to all you people out there, don't ever give up. Always soldier on. It's easier said than done for me to tell other people how to soldier on, but eventually you'll work it out and you'll go on with your life. Life wasn't meant to be this easy, but it wasn't meant to be this hard either. So for all you people out there that have been fostered out and adopted and been warded estates, look up your natural family. I know it's a kick in the guts for some of us, but there are happy stories out there somewhere along the line too. So yeah.